प्रपन्न पारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतये नमः। Many master strokes characterize Sri Krishna's discourse number 5. In this 5th chapter, Lord Krishna throws so much of precious light on this Adhyatma Vidya, the science of spirituality, that Arjuna's doubts are all getting truly weakened. So we hope with ourselves too. Repeated study of the Bhagavad Geetā gives to us clarity on issues and matters where we were confused before. In the last verse we saw number 18. What a beautiful poetry blended with wonderful philosophy. Panditaha samadarshinaha. At several places where the word Pandita appears in the Bhagavad Geetā, it has no reference to any caste, for in many places Pandita means Brahmin caste. Panda is even a surname in Orissa, Bihar, or Bengal, and so on. Panda, and some places Panda or Panda means a priest. A priest, Pujari, is called a Panda. But let me clarify again the expression Panditaha. It has come several places in the Gita. This does not have any reference to either the profession of worshipping God form in a temple or caste, birth, etc. What is Panditaha then? Panda asya asti iti Pandita. And Panda here means Samyak Darshana. Seeing Brahma outside and inside, seeing Brahma everywhere, seeing Brahma alone to be the truth, to be the reality. All else is unreal, or at best a certain appearance which may be dealt with in some appropriate way. But we should no more be confined to some orthodox ways, which will come up in the Shankara Bhāshya now. The issue of treating different people differently as per their fitness, qualification, as per their erudition, as per their learning, and so on. That orthodox view has a certain place on the level where people who are ignorant stand. Certainly, you will not put a nose ring on the ear, the earring at the wrist, and some ornament on the finger, at the ankle, etc. Depending on what ornament it is, where it fits well, you will accordingly wear. But when it's a question of seeing what it is basically, the earring, the nose ring, the anklet, or the ornament in the finger or at the wrist are all gold. Panditaha, gold darshinaha, you must see. So, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gavihastini, Shuni Chaiva Shvapakecha, Pandita Samadarshinaha is a much quoted shloka from this chapter, and we saw how Sri Shankaracharya calls the people from whatever birth they may be, people who are very sattvic. Brahmana is sattvike uttama samskaravati. Especially the younger generation these days among Hindus are extra alert to the issue of any discrimination merely based on birth. Especially those students who have for higher studies gone abroad and so on. I have met a few of them who, seeing India from those thousands of miles distance, realize the gross injustice that happens when caste is exclusively considered as a basis for Brahmana, Kshatriya, and so on. Your father, your grandfather, and so on, heredity may have a little influence. Really speaking, that is also much debated. For children born of the same parents are sometimes seen to be so different. Somebody is extremely money-minded. Another son or daughter would be very God-minded. Somebody is so much given to service, and somebody else is utterly selfish. So where is heredity placed? Where does heredity have a role to play? So the word Brahmana, though in the good old days was perhaps used more to certain communities who by generation after generation were into Vedic studies and so on. Today, there may be a very small percentage of even the so-called Brahmins, maybe 1% of the so-called Brahmins, Jati Brahmanas, are into Vedic studies. And a large number, something like 95%, they do not do Sandhya Vandana, they do not recite Gayatri Mantra, they are into any trade, any profession where they get better money, and so on. And therefore, in this 21st century, it's all the more appropriate that the word Brahmana, in such context as here, has to be taken as having sattva, sattvike and uttama samskara. So people born, men and women born in different settings, seem to have great sanskaras. They are so loving, they are so service-minded, they are, so balanced. They are able to take insult but give help to people. They are Brahmanas. So you must go the reverse way. In the good old days, the society was structured in certain ways, and to an extent, those who were being given Vedic education, being made to do upasanas daily, do Agnihotra daily, etc. There also, I am sure, there were many among those people who were selfish and other things. But because of that spiritual education imparted at the Gurukulas, and Vedas were taught to Brahmanas especially, a certain good number, just as today also in certain educational institutions where there are certain high standards of education, a good number of students turn out to be very competent, more dependable, and so on. There's no guarantee. From Harvard and MIT, from IITs or AIMS, All India Institute of Medical Science, some people can come out who neither have character nor have commendable skills in their fields. How they got their degrees, how they passed, how first of all they got in, we do not know. We do find such cases. Therefore, the generalization and taking birth as the base without questioning is certainly unfair. So go the reverse way. That is, rather than saying those born in a certain community happen to be sattvic, it's not true. Take it this way. Those who are sattvic, those who have sanskaras, are to be considered as brahmana, and towards such a brahmana who is sattvic, towards a cow that is rajasic, and towards an elephant which is tamasic, panditaha samadarshinaha. Samam means equal. Samam here represents Brahma. Samam means, as the last sentence of Shankara's commentary goes, Ekam Avikriyam Brahma, and whoever is able to see it, Samam Brahma Drashtum Sheelam Yesham Te Samadarshinaha. Now the Pura Pakshi, our good friend, everywhere the Pura Pakshi raises his head, not just hand. These days in online sessions, webinars and seminars, what we call this, Zoom or Google Meet or Cisco, WebEx, etc. The software provides a feature to raise hand. So a participant clicks on a certain button on a screen, everybody says a raised hand against his name or his rectangular box. And then the speaker has an opportunity to notice that and say, yes, you have a question. You have raised your hand. And then the person, the participant, asks the question or makes the comment. The speaker or some organizer makes that hand go down. And that is raising the hand. So here there is this Pura Pakshi always raising the hand, but I said raising his head. I will not go to the extent of saying raising his ugly head, and that may be appropriate somewhere else. Raising his head and said, I have a question. What's his question? In the Shankara Bhāshya, Nanu. That's a word which just implies a question. Abhojyannahate doshavantaha. This swapakaha, those who eat dog's meat, or dogs themselves, or other people who are into durachara. So they are not to be fed in certain rituals. Bhojya means those to whom bhojana could be given. Food, as is the word anna. Abhojyanna is the word in the Bhāshya. What it means is a bhojya anna. Yebhyaha annam bhojyate. Those to whom food is served. Food has to be served. Those who are fit to be given a nice bhojana at the end of the ritual and so on, they are bhojya anna. And the Pura Pakshi says, these dog eaters are not bhojyana, they are abhojyana. Whatever the word is in the light of some ritualistic context, what is meant is, in this world, never do that. Don't look at all equally. Because there are some who deserve to be invited and given a meal, then there are others who do not deserve to be invited and fed. Is the Pura Pakshi's observation. He quotes Gautama Smriti, for in a whole lot of conduct, whole lot of social behavior, the Smritis, which also they say are some 18 in number, we hear normally about Manusmriti, which itself is not studied much these days. Manusmriti and Yajnavalkya Smriti and Parashara Smriti, and then there is this Gautama Smriti. So many. And Gautama Smriti apparently says, Sama asamabhyam vishama same pujataha. So, if somebody, no, earlier I interpreted abhojya as the party to receive or not receive food. But this sutra or this pankti line refers to anybody who provides food to Tom, Dick and Harry without any. He gives a pistol in the hand of policeman. Take this pistol, take this revolver. And then comes a criminal. And this man gives a revolver to the criminal also. Take this. I hope this will help you. What kind of good work are you doing? Sometimes countries like America are seen to do it. They give arms to rogue countries. They sell weapons, very powerful weapons, all for economic benefits to certain countries in the world which are into terrorism, which are into disturbing their own peace of others. And otherwise, such a great country as the United States, but when it comes to economics, they seem to shut their eyes to whom they are selling the weapons. They only see their economy. Weapon sales has to rise this year, otherwise dollar will fall, and so on. So such people who feed not only the deserving, but the undeserving also are called abhojyana. And sama asamabhyam. Some are deserving, some are undeserving. And to them, vishama same, see the reverse order. Sama asama, and in the next expression, vishama sama. That means reverse. So towards sama, if you are sama, if you towards vishama, you are vishama, that's appropriate. To sama and vishama, you are vishama and sama. That is, to deserving and undeserving, you are in this. To deserving you must give, and perhaps certain times you don't give at all. And to the undeserving you should not give, because they will misuse what you are giving. But you go head over heels to serve them. Then they are criticized. Gautama Smriti, I have not studied it, but we have the numbers here, second chapter, 8th section and 20th mantra, and again 17th and 18th shloka. They are called shlokas. It is smritehe. Nate doshavantaha kim? If this 18th shloka is taken as the example and more people begin to look at all equally and without any discrimination and be kind to everybody, as I already gave the example, to a criminal, serial murderer, you see him somewhere and say, hey, how are you doing? I have some revolvers. Would you like to take them from me? You don't have to pay me anything. You with a broad smile. If you do that, that kind of practicing equality is most foolish. Be kind to everyone. Not in this way. Be kind to everyone, meaning anybody who is hungry, and there is not any chance of misuse. Not that he takes food from you and then goes and gives somebody else. That case, it's a different case altogether. Hungry, don't ask whether he is of high caste or low caste. And somebody is bright, wants to study, don't ask from what caste she is. Encourage her. Give her the opportunity to study, rise, get a good place. Narendra Modi has set a wonderful example by choosing someone from the tribal community because she is deserving, she is qualified, she is balanced, she is imbued with good values. So today all of us are proud of having Dr. Draupadi Murmu as the president of our country. In olden days also the government used to try to, a Hindu president and then a Muslim president, then again a Hindu president, then again a Muslim president. Some kind of drama was going on. But the government today And I'm not saying they are perfect. They too must have made mistakes in many things. But in certain areas, like the way they are distributing Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, etc., they are picking up somebody whom nobody knew about. In some village, somebody planted lots of trees. In another village, in some other state, there was an old man who had, through his life, dug many ponds. And the water scenario in that area was so much better because of this man from some unknown background, not some illustrious family or not somebody who had gone to Oxford or Harvard. No, some villager, some farmer. He dug many wells or ponds. He was given Padma Shri. So like that, here we have a lady from a tribal background, but she studied hard. She received graduate, postgraduate, and doctoral degrees from universities, and she conducted various responsible works, you see, with great ability, and she was picked up. So that kind of equality, don't see this caste or color of the skin or woman or man and so on. Here and there we criticize America, but we must also praise them. It is a country like America that gives opportunity to talented people without looking at their background. So even in the 90s, where things were more difficult than now, a young lady from Chennai, lady, not man, and she was color skinned Indian. He could rise, and in year 2002, he became 2006 rather. In year 2006, Indra Nooyi became CEO of PepsiCo. Her life is so inspiring, and it is possible in America. I am not sure if she could have risen even 1/10 the way up in India. The United States, which does makes a lot of big mistakes also, but is equal to the government, the constitution, and the general order. And there are fanatics everywhere. There are fanatics, there are the ultra orthodox, there are the biased people everywhere. But on the whole, you will see. So the way to be equal is not indiscriminately seeing what matters. You want to form a basketball team, you see the skills, the height, the talent, and then you don't worry from what community he or she is. You select a person who has. So in terms of ignoring the community or the color of the skin or the language spoken and such things, gender and such things, you ignore those. That is where your equal-mindedness lies. And it is ridiculous, if not idiotic, if in the name of equality, you select people for a basketball team and then you proudly say, I have some of these members who play very well and some of them who don't play very well at all, but I am equal to all. So I have taken 2 with no skills and 3 with skills and put together a team. Idiotic it is. You are putting a basketball team together, all of them should have the skills required for basketball. But the Pura Pakshi is raising a different issue or from a different angle. He says, how can you be equal? If you are equal to all, leave alone those who receive your services or your rewards. You become sinful. You become abhodhyanna. So abhodhyanna tvam bhavasi. You will get dosha. You will get a bad mark on you. So, Siddhanti answers, no, there is no dosha when you see all lovable. You see all as worthy of respect, all as worthy of encouragement. If they have certain skill for a certain requirement. So that common sense is not compromised with, but a whole lot of criteria which the entire world uses. In India, it may be caste based on birth. Somewhere else is color of skin. Somewhere else in Africa, so much of genocide took place. Where was that? In a country called Rwanda. Oh, dead bodies of dead children strewn all over. Why? Some communal fight, some tribes, they would not tolerate another tribe. Even the Islamic world, which claims to have brotherhood among them, they have the Shia Sunni fight. And I remember while growing up in high school days, we would read newspaper and it would, for years it went on, Iran and Iraq. Iran being a Shia majority country and Iraq being a Sunni majority country. These two countries were at war, I don't know for how many years, 10 or 12 years, if not more. So you have all this going on. So here it is said, the illumined person looks at all as lovable and leave those who receive or do not receive. The illumined person will not get affected. No dosha will touch him or her. The 19th sloka therefore says, Ihai vatair jita sargaha yesham samye sthitam manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmat brahmani te sthitaha. What are you talking? Illumined person getting tainted, getting affected, incurring sin by her equal-mindedness? You have not understood the context and the theme. The illumined person is anchored in the pure self. Samye sthitam yesham manah. There is this lady, an enlightened, Jivan Mukta woman, and her mind is constantly anchored in Samya. And Samya is no other than Brahma itself. Samam Brahma, and the Samatva is Samya. So, Samye Sarvabhuteshu Brahmani. Sarvabhuteshu Brahmani Samabhave, says Adishpita. Samya. Interestingly, the word Samya is of great value in Buddhist literature too. Samya. A lot of Sanskrit words have gone into Buddhism. After all, the Buddha grew up when there was the Vedic literacy around. In a way, he rebelled against the Vedas, but in another way, that is, as regards the pure wisdom conveyed by the Vedas, by the Vedanta, the Buddha was one more wonderful endorsement. Therefore, the teachings of the Buddha come very close to Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta asserts that there is God, there is a reality behind and beneath this universe of names and forms. Buddhism, in its popular version at least, dismisses any reality. Shunyavada, the school of philosophy, where it is said ultimately there is just nothing, void. And Again, the popular version of Buddhism, West dismisses God. I'm adding the word popular version because essentially, when they asked the Buddha, is there God? He maintained noble silence. He did not say there is no God, nor did he say there is God. Therefore, God and Brahma, God, the ruler of the universe, who dispenses the karma phala, and Brahma, the ultimate truth, the substrate, the ultimate essence of this universe, are not really dismissed by Buddhism, but in the popular version they have been kept away. Otherwise, what I mean is, I am able to reconcile Buddhism and Vedanta. If they are silent on certain topics, that may be the need of the hour, the need of the time. At that time, it was better, it was wiser to keep quiet. Otherwise, Brahma, the substrate, the undeniably true truth, which cannot be denied or dismissed or negated, and God, who is the rule over all rules. He is the law above all laws. He is the lawmaker, he is the law also. No blade of grass can shake without God's will. And that God, I would imagine, was not really negated by Buddha, but for the benefit of the people at that time who more misunderstood God than understood, he kept away. Samya appears in Buddha or Buddhist literature, Buddhist institutions, etc. Ihaiva, even as they are alive and are in a body, like you and me, taihi sarga hadita. Sarga means janma. They are no more going to be born. Yesham samye, yesham manaha brahmani sthita. Samye, in equalness, means in God, in Brahma. Nirdosham hi samam Brahma. Brahma is absolutely the same in all and the same in the illumined person also. Tasma Brahmani Tesita. What is meant basically in reference to the doubt that was raised is a lady or a gentleman. Lady, gentleman is an external description from our angle of view. The illumined one doesn't even adhere, doesn't even cling to any idea of gender, unless in some vyavahara. An illumined person like Ananda Mahima was anchored in Brahma. She, deep inside her, would not think of herself as a woman or man, but till her death she wore sari. She went around like a woman outwardly. But that is just a peripheral, fringe issue. In her behavior, in her dealing with issues of life, she was so divine, far above discrimination of gender or other community and such things. Tasma Brahmani Testita. So, those who are anchored in Brahma are a notch above karma vibhaga. In karma, that plane of karma, good and bad do exist. But on the plane of Brahma Jnana, they do not exist. Shankara explains, Iha eva, jivadbhireva, one as one is alive and moving around. Taihi samadarshibhihi, panditaihi. Shankara always is conscious of the context. The previous verse had used Panditaha Samadarshinaha. He carries that word on to this shloka. The people here who are praised as having anchored their mind in Brahma, are no other, no different from Pandita of the previous verse. Panditaihi jitaha vashikritaha. They have conquered Sarga. Sarga means Srishti. And the reference is not to the Srishti of the universe, it is to Srishti of or Janma of oneself. You come into being. That is Punarjanma. Yahaivataihi Janma Vashikritaha. Yesham Manaha Sarvabhuteshu Brahmani Samabhave Sthitam Nischali Bhutam. It's unshakably established in Brahma Drishti. I am Brahma. All these are Brahma. Somebody says, no, but this person is low caste and that person is high caste. This is rubbish. This person is Brahma, that person is Brahma. And in a certain matter today, whoever has the skill for that particular job will be taken. Other things do not matter. So the ability to completely discard irrelevant sides, irrelevant aspects of people, things, and so on is the hallmark. Therefore, in the famous story of Adi Shankara meeting with a Chandala, a low caste man in Kashi, which later became a beautiful hymn, Manisha Panchakam, 5 verses on the highest understanding, we find Shankara for a moment goes by some customs and says to the Chandala, the low caste man who apparently came with 4 dogs around him, Gacha, Gacha, go away, give way to me. But when the Chandala asked a profound question, when you say leave, go away, are you asking the body to go or are you asking the spirit to go away? If it is spirit, the same spirit is in me and you. How can it ever go away? If it is body, your body also is made of those 5 elements. My body also is made of those 5 elements. So why do you want the body to go away? Instantly Shankara realized that this is an exceptionally wise person. Therefore Shankara comes out with 5 verses and says, when you have this vision, I dare not say to you, go away, or rather, I prostrate before you. You are my guru. You are my teacher. You are my instructor. I learn from you, sir, he says. So that is the Brahma Drishti. Nirdosham, says Adi Shankara here. Yadyapi doshavatsu shvapakadishu mudaihi tad doshaihi doshavadiva vibhavyate tathapi tad doshaihi asprishtam, untouched. So, for people who don't have the highest vision, everything matters. Those who have the highest vision, a Brahmadarshi, a Samyakdarshi, a Samadarshi, such a person, lady or man, is asprishtam, unaffected by these externalities. Because they see the person not externally, but internally. So, great social reformers like Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar in Bengal apparently had done certain funny things. Somewhere I believe he was not allowed. What is that? Because he wore some poor dress and so on. And what did he do? Something like he sent maybe a dog or so coated, booted. Please take it. If it is something different, but that manner. If it is the dress that matters to you, here is a dog wearing a coat. Let him alone. Let him go into the party. A great bash. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was learned, balanced, had done a lot of social service, but because he went in some torn clothes one day, he was not allowed inside. So is it the clothes that are invited to the party or the man? Was the question. So this keeps coming up everywhere. What matters finally is our own evolution. Na api swaguna bheda bhinnam. But you may say, whatever it is, this illumined man also is made of rajas, tamas and sattva. No, that is in your eyes. The illumined man actually is seated in nirgunam, nirdosham, nirgunatva chaitanyasya. In the 13th chapter, Bhashyakara quotes, Vakshyati cha Bhagavan ichchadinam kshetra dharmatvam. In your eyes, the illumined man also may be having some likes and dislikes. But those likes and dislikes, those desires and those tendencies to avoid certain things, they are all kshetra, field. The illumined man is anchored in kshetrajna, the knower of the field. Anaditva nirgunatva is a shloka that will come up in the 13th chapter. Brahma is no beginning, Brahma has no guna, says. Napi antya vishesha. In Vaisheshika philosophy, as the Tippanikara clarifies, in order to separate one atom from another, Paramanu from Parama, one location from another, one time period from another, one direction from another, one jivatma from another, one mind from another, in order to distinguish certain factor called Antya Vishesha, the ultimate distinguishing factor is used. And that does not apply here to Brahma. Vedanta therefore is above Vaisheshika. As you have heard, there are 6 Astika Darshanas, that is 6 schools of wisdom, 6 schools of Indian philosophy which accept Vedas as the unquestionable authority, Astika Darshanas. Of them, Vaisheshika is one. Nyaya and Vaisheshika are very similar with a little bit of difference. Sankhya and Yoga are very similar with a little bit of difference. And Purvamimamsa, the study of Vedic portions related to Karma and Upasana, and Uttaramimamsa, which is no different from Upanishads, the study of Vedanta, are the 5th and 6th schools. So Vaisheshika Darshana talks about some Antya Vishesha, but Vedanta, being a notch above, points out that when you are anchored in Brahma, that Antya Vishesha also doesn't affect. Na api Antya Vishesha Atmanaha Bhedakaha Santi. So the Atma in the dog eater, the Atma in the Brahmin, the Atma in the elephant, the Atma in the cow, and the Atma in me, the illumined one sees that all of them are one. There is nothing distinguishing. In that Manisha Panchakam only, the Chandala himself asks Shankaracharya, is the light different when it is reflected on the holy Ganga and when it is reflected on the stagnant water in some slum area? Kim Ganga Muni Bimbitembaramanav Chandala Vati Vaya Pure Vantaramasti Kanchana Gati Mrittumbayor Vambare. Wonderful poetry. Space that is apparently covered by a gold pot, and space apparently limited by a mud pot. Between these two spaces, is there a difference? Hearing that question, hearing that counterpoint, Shankara is shaken. Then Shankara says, you are Samvit, you are pure consciousness. I bow down before you, you are my teacher. So Shankara explains, Pratishariram Tesham Sattve Pramana Anupapatte. Those Antyavishesha again, a superficial factor. Deeper you go in every body, they don't exist. There is no pramana for it. Ataha samam brahma ekancha. Brahma is the same. In Brahmane, Gavi, Hastini, Shuni, Shvapake, all of them. Ekam Brahma. Tasmad ye Brahmani eva sthitaha. Tesham dosha gandha matramapi. Na sprasati. Tesham na bhavati doshaha. Dosha gandhamapi. When a trace or gandha literally means the smell. Because an object sometimes may be at a distance. Smell comes to your nose. So even a smell meaning, you know where you are affected. Therefore it is said here, dosha gandha matramapi tan panditan jnaninaha na sprashati. Dehadi sangatma darshana bhava tesham. They absolutely do not see themselves as the Dehadi Sanghata. There is a Jivatma which is Dehadi Sanghatatma. Jivatma is Dehadi Sanghatatma. But they don't have that darshana that I am this body. Let the body be wherever it is. The idea I am this body is absent. Dehadi Sanghata Atma Darshana Bhava Tesham Dhaninam Doshagandha Matramapitan Nasprashati. Sama Samabhyam षमसमे पूजाता. What about that sutra then in Gautama Smriti? That is in the context of puja for karmakandis, karmis who have dehabhimana. Iti puja vishayatva visheshana. Drishyate hi brahma vid saranga vid chaturveda viditi puja dhanadav. In puja there is an occasion where you have to give dana. And then you give bigger dana to Brahmavid, less dana. Dana is gift to somebody who knows the four Vedas. Then again maybe less or of a different kind. To somebody you may give a cow. To somebody else you may give a small piece of gold, hiranya dana. To yet another you may give some cash, develop or otherwise. To yet somebody else you may give coconut. So this difference has been mentioned in the Karma Kanda, what is appropriate. Yesterday we were talking about rituals of entering a new house. And someone commented that at many places, in addition to boiling some milk to the extent of letting it spill over, they even take a cow inside the house. A new house somebody is entering. I have seen that in some places. The cow is brought in and fed, honored, maybe arati is done, then the cow is taken out. So you can't say in the name of equality, tomorrow in my Graha Pravesha, instead of a cow, I am going to take a cat inside. In Karma Kanda you cannot play with this. Karma Kanda has its own basis, its own norms. You are welcome to study it. Mimamsa perhaps is meant for that. Puro Mimamsa. Study it and find out why a cow is brought here and where over there a goat was brought, over there some, a crow. They waited for a crow to come and eat the vada or some food kept for them. If some other bird comes, it won't do. Crow also only has to come. I am talking of, as you know, the Shraddha Karma. The rituals in honor of the departed souls. You put the food outside and you wait for Vayasa Darshanam, it is called. Vayasa is a synonym for Takaha. Takaha is crow. A Vayasa, a crow, only has to come and eat. Especially that, I think anything but the vada. Then you can all go sit and on that day, otherwise big trouble. So, puja dana adav guna vishesha sambandha karanam. Brahma sarva guna dosha sambandha varjitam ityatah. Brahmani kesnita iti uttam. And this sutra, Gautama Smriti, Gautama Dharma Shastra. Karma Vishayancha Samabhyam. Idam tu Sarva Karma Sannyasa Vishayam Prastutam. Sarva Karmani Manasa Ityarabhya. Adhyaya Parisamaptehe. Means till. Means up to. Adhyaya Parisamaptehe. Up to the point this chapter gets over, the context is Sarva Sarva Sannyasa. So do not mix up the two. Karma Vibhaga has its rules and Sannyasa has its own rules. And those who are fit to be sannyasis go by simply wearing some orange clothes or shaving one's head or by changing one's name or by there are all these. That doesn't make one a sannyasi. That is also obvious here. In this way, as I began saying in this class, many of these slokas are truly master strokes at the hand of the master artist, the great communicator of spiritual wisdom, Lord Sri Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.